Good evening, everybody. We're going to have a town hall today where you can come in and ask us questions about how you vote, where you vote. So I'm concerned because I'm talking to people across NY27. I can't see you, I can't visit you, but I'm talking to people across NY27 every day. And some of my biggest supporters, people who really want to vote for me, people who've actually made calls for me, they don't know how to vote and what's going on. There's a lot of confusion, and we don't have all of the answers. We are not in charge. But what we're going to do is try to give you all the information we have to make you as informed as possible regarding maybe the most complex election in ever. So let's talk about what this election is like. First of all, on April 28th, we had an election planned or scheduled. That election, originally, that was the date of the primary for the presidential primary for the Democratic Party and our special election. We were happy because that meant a lot of Democrats were going to come out to vote, and it helped us tremendously. The Republicans were so unhappy, they sued to stop that date of the election. When COVID hit, I'm proud of my team. We were ahead of things. We knew it was dangerous. And even though April 28th was a good date for our election, we sent a letter to the governor. We sent a letter to everyone we could, the Board of Elections, and we said, you need to change this date. This is serious. By the way, whenever I hear President Trump act like he didn't understand about the danger of COVID, I'm like, if we knew, and my little campaign knew, how come you didn't know? Anyway, we asked for the date to be delayed. The governor, in his judgment, delayed the date until when, guys?
June 23rd.
June 23rd. And not only that date, they changed, that's when all the elections are taking place. So there's going to be two elections that are important maybe to most of you listening. And that will be a primary for the Republican Party, where my opponent in the special election, Chris Jacobs, will be going against Beth Parlato. You may have saw her lovely ads. Yikes. Or Beth Parlato or Stefan Mahailu. So that's the primary for the Republican Party. And they're tearing each other apart. I mean, I never saw anything like it. Jacobs, he was calling Parlato nasty woman last week, which I just couldn't believe it because she's the endorsed candidate for the Conservative Party. So that's kind of an ugly situation. But that's one ballot. It's a completely separate ballot for our election where I will be against Jacobs. So people will have to, first, if you're a Republican, you'll have to vote in that primary, and then you're also going to have to vote in the special election. So we're asking people to request a ballot for the special election because I want you guys, if you can, to vote from home. Now, unfortunately, not everyone's going to have a ballot because you need to apply for a ballot. It's a two-step process. Apply for the ballot, then get the ballot and vote. Originally, the governor said he was going to send everybody a ballot. Now, for whatever reason, they decided not to do that. He's putting the obligation on you guys to actually apply for the ballot. So that's where we are right now. June 23rd, there's going to be multiple elections. For the people listening, I don't really care what happens in the Republican primary. I care less. Focus on the special election and ask and apply for a ballot for the special election. I will encourage you, if you can't apply, if you run out of time, I'm still going to encourage you to vote on the 23rd. I was worried about COVID on April 28th. I'm also worried about COVID on June 23rd. We're just going to have to be careful, and I'm not sure about the details regarding that. So let's talk it out, and let's take your questions. I hope I made it a little less. That's the story. That's the timeline. Let's talk about the nitty-gritty and the details. And I have with me my excellent, wonderful, top-rate field team. That means voter outreach team. Many of you know them from the conference calls they do to make phone calls. Today, in 1 hour, their team online made over 500 phone calls. I've never seen anything like it. Even with all the support we had last year, what these guys have done from home is downright miraculous. And here they are. Hunter, raise your hand, Hunter. And Austin. Yay! So, gentlemen, talk about who you are and what you do for the team, and we'll get into the questions.
Austin, you first.
All right, I guess we're going alphabetically. Again, my name's Austin. So my role as field director mostly lies in the data side of things. So my role these last couple of weeks has been mostly focusing on talking with our county boards of elections, talking to them about the process, making sure that we're all on the same page, and also getting the data back on how the election's going so far. This is one of the unique things about this election. Because votes are happening by mail, we can track things along the way. So we're doing that. We are reaching out to our volunteers. We're making sure that everybody's engaged, making sure that people know about the election. Voter education is a huge lift. In a normal election, and this year with so many changes, it's a Herculean task. But getting folks to know about June 23rd, helping them through the absentee process, that's what I've been doing day to day.
Yes. Go ahead, Hunter.
I'm Hunter Siegel. I am the other figure for Nate's campaign. My whole day-to-day tasks involve talking to our volunteers. I have taken on the task of being our volunteer coordinator here. So if you've had a phone bank training with us, it's most likely been me leading it. If you have signed up for an event, it's been planned out and followed up with by me. Like Nate said, today we had a phone bank over Zoom. Now, obviously, if we could, and if it was safe to do so, we would love to be in our campaign offices with our volunteers, making phone calls with them, going out knocking on doors with them. But unfortunately, that's not what we are able to do right now. So we're trying to recreate a campaign office in a Zoom meeting, which doesn't feel the same, but at least it feels a little bit better than sitting there and making calls by yourself from home every day. So we've been leading these phone banks now for about 2 weeks, and we're going to continue to do them as we get closer to the date, just to remind people that there is an election coming up, that they can vote by absentee, walking people through the process of applying for it, and just making sure that at its core that people are doing okay, they have the resources that they need in order to survive this pandemic.
Guys, I think before we get any further, I think we might start doing these almost daily.
Yeah.
Because the questions are so fast and furious, and I don't know, I must have put in 100 posts where I said apply and get a ballot, and people still miss it. Because there's, on a separate note, I realized in the last 2 years, the number of social media postings and online content, believe it or not, has dramatically increased. Like, really, it has. When I ran 2 years ago, everyone's Facebook feed was even a little less dense than it is today. So getting a message out there either through social media or anything else is more difficult than it's ever been. So I think we should have these conversations frequently as possible, really. So, but let's talk about some questions. So Rick says he'll show up to the polls. Great, Rick. We need people to show up to the polls. The only reason why I'm trying to push the absentee ballots is because the less people at the polls, the less dangerous it is for everybody. So get out to the polls if you have to, but if you can, use this time while we have it to make sure every single person in your house votes. It's an incredible once in a generation opportunity to get people out to vote, everyone in your house. You don't have to get off work. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just mail it in, but you got to mail in your application, and then you got to get your ballot. Do we need a phone banker? Gabe, yes, we do need phone bankers. We do it every single day, but we're doing it from home. So the best way to get a hold of us, Gabe, to talk about that is email Austin, AUSTIN, at votemcmurray.com. Gabe, we'd be very grateful to be a phone banker from home. Dawn asks, if you apply for a ballot, when should you expect it to come? I filled an application out with the Ontario Board of Elections. So let's go through that. If you filled out an application already and you don't have it in Ontario, what is that? And Austin, what's the answer to that?
Yeah, so Dawn, that's a question that a lot of people are asking. You're not alone in that boat. So the way that some counties are doing it is that they are not sending out the ballots immediately. They're going to wait and send one mass mailing closer to June for everybody who's applied up until that point. So be patient. Keep your eye out for the mail. But it should be coming in early June. That's when most boards of elections will be sending out their first round of ballots.
And to jump off of that, we have until June 16th to make sure that everybody has applied for their ballot. Ballot applications have to be postmarked by June 16th, and ballots have to be postmarked by June 22nd. So we have some time to make sure that everybody gets it in, but if you get it in now, you'll get it with that first batch of ballots that go out.
Let's put that up and do an infographic. You have to apply for your ballot by June 16, right?
Yes.
You have to mail your ballot by June 22nd.
Yes.
Put that into an infographic. And also in an infographic, let's also put on there, your ballot should come, or if you already applied, your ballot should come early June.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And some people, we spoke to some people today that already voted, and they, believe it or not, they were in our phone bank, and they just happened to have voted for Nate McMurray. So people have already been casting their ballots, and to those people that have already voted for us, thank you.
Yes, and regarding that, oh boy, this thing's going to fall. Sorry, guys. Boy, don't want to have that to happen. A terrifying end to this wonderful discussion. Oh boy, you guys see me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Modern technology here. So let me talk to you about Gordon Mueller. Hey, Gordon, always good to talk to you. Nikki Calhoun's on the line. I love Nikki Calhoun. The last 2 years, I've gotten to know Nikki, and she is an incredible organizer, an incredible leader. And Nikki, the infographic you made about how to apply, I pinned it to the top of my my Facebook page. I don't know if you've seen that. Thank you for doing that. I actually pinned it to the top of my Twitter feed. It was so well done. Okay, what else here? Kelly, thank you for saying that. Polly, I wish Nimi could vote too, but unfortunately she cannot. Nimi is her wonderful Great Dane. She used to come around the office all the time with her Great Dane.
Hi, Polly.
Someone here is asking me who would I rather run against out of the two people in the Republican, or three people in the Republican primary. Well, let's be honest. I'd rather run against whoever's easier to beat. All their views are repugnant. I don't know who's easier to beat yet. I can't tell. I think that one of the candidates is not a real candidate at this point. He's not really pursuing it. It doesn't seem like it. But man, they're really going at each other. You guys have any thoughts about that?
I mean, the thing that I keep coming back to is, no one knows who Chris Jacobs is or what he stands for. I mean, you may disagree with Beth Parlato, but at least you know who she is and what she's going to do. I heartily disagree with most of what she says, but I know who she is. I know she has a spine, and I can't say that about Chris Jacobs.
I give her credit for standing up to the party machine, which is not easy to do. Those are some mean people.
Yeah.
Especially on that side of the aisle. Holy cow. I mean, I always think about our party machine out there in like Livingston County and in Wyoming County. These are some of the best people you ever met. Oh, yeah. They would take their shirt off and they'd invite anybody, no matter the political beliefs, into their house for a meal. These are very good and decent people. I can't even believe the commentary that comes out of the other party leadership. It's so dark. And I mean, they're calling somebody that has their same beliefs and values nasty. In like giant all caps letters. She's nasty. She's horrible. I don't get it. I really don't. I think what it really spells is they're very uncomfortable with their choice. Let's talk about that for a second. Parlato almost was the nominee. It was a split. Oh. The Republican counties, Erie County had the weighted vote. They went with the guy with all the money. And all the rural counties wanted her. And so you can see that, by the way, in the campaign trail, because when you're in the rural counties, you see her signs. You don't see any of his signs because he only has the party machine. She has grassroots support. Now, I am not saying, like, I think her ideas are insane. I mean, in the middle of a pandemic, she's talking about Planned Parenthood. Like, that's the problem America faces, Planned Parenthood. I just think it's troubling. But I do give her credit for standing up to that machine because that's not easy. And I think she'd be a fierce competitor in November because she does have a backbone. And she does get out there and fight. In that regard, I'd rather go against Jacobs because Jacobs just goes whatever his consultants want, let's do it. He just goes with the flow. And I don't think he's putting the work in either. For a guy like him to only have 100 people donate to his campaign, that's shocking. One of the wealthiest families in America, and he only had 100 different donations. That means he's done no time on the phone. That means he's called nobody. That means he's simply mailing it in and thinks people are going to vote for him because he has the Republican Party boss stamping. So I'd rather go against the person who doesn't work versus the hard worker any day.
That's the thing with Democrats versus Republicans, right? I mean, we talked about this the last time the three of us were all together in one of these town halls. We are the only ones that put in the work. You can print as many signs as you want and put them in every house and every on-ramp in this district. No one's going to vote for you off of that. You know, what's really doing the work is the 13 volunteers we had inside on this gorgeous day today for an hour and a half on the phones making calls with us. It is.
I mean, let's make no mistake. We are massive underdogs, right?
Yeah.
Because no matter how hard we work, there's going to be certain people who don't pay attention and just vote party line. I mean, that's why Chris Collins got elected. That's why Chris Lee got elected. And I'm afraid that that's why Chris Jacobs will get elected. Because the party division, the party brainwashing will get people to say, hey, that guy who wants to help me and my family, who's got a similar background than me, he's not my guy. This guy over here who never visited these towns, true or false? I got two questions for you. If Trump says he endorses Jacobs, do you think he could pick him out of a lineup?
Not a chance.
I can't.
I've met him before. I've met him a lot of times. I don't think I can pick him out of a lineup with a couple guys who look similar to him. I don't think so either. True or false? Could he pass a geography test for NY27?
No.
Not a chance.
I mean,
he doesn't know where Java is. Not a chance.
He doesn't know where Lima is. He doesn't know where any of these places are. I can guarantee. Only way he knows is if someone has driven him there and he's gotten out of the car and walked around. He doesn't know any of it. It's so outrageous. It's so laughable. I mean, he doesn't. How could someone like that care about this district? He's never even been to the district. Anyway, Robo Roots on. Nicole Hoshaway is on. Hey, Nicole. Nicole, by the way, I got to thank Nicole for so much, but most of all, she put together this team. She found you guys, and I have these handsome devils. Hunter over here with that beautiful mustache. I have Hunter from Geneseo because of her. I have Austin on the team because of her. She got torn to come back and join the team, and I don't think we thank her enough. So can we give her a round of applause, everybody? Woo! All right. What else? Let's make no mistake. If we win, it's because of her and because of you guys. Thank you so much. Who else out there? What else are we gonna? Anything else we need to answer? I mean, there's no questions coming in, so we can do this again.
Well, let me. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Getting some data from the BOEs. Let me give an update to folks because I've heard one or two on our calls today. Someone talked to someone who's, the Democrats are outnumbered. We don't really have a chance. What's the point? Nate's a great guy, but, we're never going to win. Well, let me tell you, folks, we're winning right now. So from the data we've got from the BOEs, I can tell you that in applications put in for vote by mail, Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1. You guys are doing that. You are the energy on the ground, making sure that our ballots are getting in. And in terms of ballots cast, we're winning that too. Even in counties like Wyoming, we're winning in ballots cast. think about it.
Yay, Cindy. Yay, Hank. Yay, everybody out. Hey, Ray. Everybody out there. How you doing?
So we are in an amazing spot right now. We have all the wind at our back. And if we can continue to have great events where we make 500 calls in an hour, if we can continue to raise money at votemcmurray.com/donate.
I gotta say, guys, yesterday I said we need $75,000 to get commercials made, and we raised $4,000. $4,000 yesterday.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
So look, guys, your donations, and those are small dollar amounts that add up. So people who are sending me $50, that matters. It adds up. I want to say to somebody asked me about the Green New Deal. Yes, I support the Green New Deal. I think it's insane that we don't invest in new technology and we don't invest in our future. Really, I mean, the climate change is real. If we can, what I mean by Green New Deal is this: climate change is real. Green technology will benefit our communities. It'll keep us safe. And it will provide job opportunities for people in the future. And guess who else supports the Green New Deal? A lot of unions who want those good paying union jobs to help build the infrastructure that provide us technology and electricity and energy from new means. What we don't want to do is harm our landscape. The Bible says for every time there is a season. I would not put wind farms in places that mar our landscape, like I wouldn't put them off the coast of Lake Ontario. I think there's things we can do. I wouldn't put them on top of Monument Valley either. You know, there's certain things that are beautiful that should be not marred by human hands. But where they're appropriate, they can be beautiful too, and they can bring us energy and resources. There's people in NY27 right now who have dramatically reduced their taxes because they've invested in solar or they've invested in wind. And Lord knows what other technologies are out there that we don't even know about because we're afraid to invest. So, yes, I believe it's something we need to take serious. Will we put any commercials before June 23rd? I think so, yes. We have enough money to run commercials. We're going to use that money wisely, though. We're not going to do commercials just to do commercials. But everybody who spends $1 towards us right now, it's going into those commercials. Michael Slater, how you doing? Good to see you, sir. Leslie, how are you? Just waiting to get your ballot. Early June, it'll be coming, I hope. Agreed, it seems very red. It is red, but look at all you guys out there. Look at all the Nate McMurray signs. I don't even know where they're coming from. They're just popping up. It is a red district, but you know what? I believe NY27 is popular red. What I mean by that, there's people that have an anti-establishment edge who want to fight against guys like Chris Jacobs, who are ordained by the kingmakers to say, you're going to lead us and you're going to, they don't want to be taken advantage of. We have to get that message out there. I'm a regular person. I think people want representation that represents them. And I'm a heck of a lot like them than Chris Jacobs is. So we just have to fight. And you got to believe. When I ran in 2018, no one believed we even had a chance. But we came within 0.37%, the largest partisan swing in the country. You got to believe. And you got to believe not just in this, you got to believe in our country. And I think right now we're fighting for the soul of our country. This isn't about this election. We have a platform to fight for the things that we care about. Let's talk about that for a second, because I've been reading so much, because I get up early and I am just obsessed with, I think what's happening right now is a tragedy. It's a historical tragedy and historical failure. And I think we need, more than ever, we need good leadership. We need to recognize the failures and shortcomings of our president. You guys want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, I can't think of a single person that hasn't been affected by this, whether they have lost their job, whether they know somebody that has fallen ill, whether they know somebody that has lost their life as a result of this. And look, we knew about this in January, at least in this country, that we knew it was going to be a problem. I mean, we know that because senators and congresspeople were trading stocks after a confidential hearing on the possibility for a pandemic here.
Good point.
And look, this I think that this response has been completely on the president's hands when we have people getting hospitalized for drinking disinfectant because the president said that maybe we can disinfect their insides, or people are taking medicine that the president has been touting that, oh, this will fix you, and dying as a result of that. Not only has he bungled our entire nation's response on getting ahead of this and coming together as a nation and fixing this, but just look at what he's been doing in the past couple of weeks. Press conferences that just are ended angrily, going to do tours of PPE manufacturers without wearing a mask in the first place. You know?
I do know, and I want to talk about this for a second. Guys, if you really believe the president is a good guy and this is going well, you're lying to yourself. We have 4% of the world's population. We have almost 30% of the total deaths. How does a country with 4% of the population have 30% of the deaths? Now, the response I always hear from that is, oh, they lie about their numbers. Do you think New Zealand is lying that they only have 20 deaths? Do you think Australia is lying they have less than 300 deaths? Do you think Canada or Ontario is lying? Look at their numbers compared to the numbers we have in New York City, in Toronto versus New York City and versus across the United States in major metropolitan areas. They're not lying. The countries that took this seriously, that had a good health, the combination they needed is this: a good healthcare system, which we do not have in America. Everybody out there has to understand we are the only, I wish I had the power to put that letters up in big letters right now, the only industrialized country that does not have universal health care. The only one. America. That's it. So Australia, Germany, Denmark, the UK, Canada, South Korea, Japan, all of them have universal health care. So when they say it's too expensive, we can't afford it, I'm like, how can every other country afford it? How come every other country can find a way? And here's the kicker. Our country spends more money on healthcare than any country in the world. So what do you mean we can't afford it? That combination is brutal. We're the only country that doesn't have universal health care, industrialized nation. Plus, we spend more than any other country on healthcare. They think you're suckers and you're just going to go along with it and say, hey, I want to choose my healthcare. Guess what most people in NY27 choose as healthcare? This is a reality. A lot of them, maybe not all, but a lot of them, of course not all, a lot of them choose subsidized government health care because the poverty rate is so high in NY27. Mm-hmm. So we're already in a position where we're spending so much money on health care and it doesn't cover anybody or a lot of us. And now we've lost, how many people have lost their jobs? 20 something. Yeah. And all those people have lost their health care too. Yeah. So it's a tragedy. So it's a combination. You need good health care. And the second thing you need is good leadership, decisive leadership. And the president, I don't even know what is his position? Do we need a vaccine or do we not need a vaccine? Is this a crisis or is it not a crisis? Or is it a hoax? Do we have the best tests in the world or are tests overrated? Can anyone tell me what his position is? No. Go ahead. Austin, you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, the message coming from Washington has been completely incoherent. One of the things I heard today, President Obama gave a commencement speech today to 2020 graduates who will be missing their in-person graduations, and said that this administration has completely dropped the ball. And I've heard Democrats say, well, we should, Obama shouldn't be out there saying those things. We should be polite. We should be nice. No. Listen, folks, Democrats have been expected to roll over for decades, and it's time that we stop that because 80,000 people are dead. And I don't say that to be extreme or crude, but we've lost 80,000 Americans.
It'll be 100,000 by the time this election takes place. It'll be 100,000. And let alone how
Exactly.
many Americans have we lost to heart failure, cancer, diabetes because they didn't have health care?
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
something you said earlier just about, employer-based healthcare. I'm thinking about all of the presidential candidates and all of the people in the past that have said, well, people like their employers' healthcare, and therefore, we should let them keep it. The amount of people that have lost their healthcare in the past 2 months is staggering. And that means that they have no other option right now other than
we go along with those weak talking points too often.
Yeah.
And back to your point, like they want us to be nice. Every time I go on conservative radio, they're like, Nate, don't you think it's wrong what you said about President Trump? I'm like, well, is it factual? And then I asked them, on top of that, I asked them, well, you're acting like I'm so aggressive. I mean, I'm pretty mild. I mean, your radio station features Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and a cavalcade of other crazy people who spreads conspiracies and say that Nancy Pelosi is the most evil person who ever lived. I mean, like they want us to play nice and be punching bags. I will not do it. I'll fight for what I believe in, and that's it. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of Democrats in the past have been uncomfortable with me. When I created that catchphrase, "Fight like hell," I took hell. I mean, there were so many people when I put that on posters. There were so many people who were mad at me. But look we have to have. You guys know me. I don't use profanity in my personal life, do I? Have you guys heard me? No.
Never.
That's why it was so. Go ahead, Hunter. You look like you want to make fun of me. Go ahead.
I'm just thinking about all the workarounds that you've used in lieu of profanity in the past.
Why don't you give me some? I'm curious what you're gonna say.
Just thinking about all the times you just said crap. Just so
It's the worst I'll go to.
Yeah.
My son says to me, my son will say to me, "You shouldn't say that word, Dad." When I say, yeah, I'm not even comfortable saying that. Anyway, but I put Fight Like Hell on the poster, and because I mean it. We have to have that attitude, that fierce attitude, where we are fighting for the future of our country. And I was said online earlier today. I've read so many books about fascism in the last 3 years, and there's no doubt that our president is a fascist and a racist. And I would like to call out the New York Times and other publications that I love and I support. We're so nice, we don't want to say it. So what they'll say is racist overtones.
Yeah.
Or they'll say fascist tendencies. I'll say, don't say racial overtones. There's a word, it's called racist. If someone is or there's a word, it's called fascist. Use the word.
Yeah.
I think if we don't start to stand up and say this is a problem, we will lose the pure and precious parts of our country.
100%.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, we're out here to talk about. Hi, Dawn. Thanks for saying that. We were here to talk about. We're here to talk about voter. So let's just go through the counties real quick, so everyone knows voter turnout. So we got 8 counties, right?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions for each one. Niagara County, when will they get their ballot? Okay, let's go. Niagara County, how can they get their ballot?
Well, Niagara County, everyone by the end of next week will receive in the mail an application for that ballot. It's sent straight to you, prepaid postage. You don't even have to buy a stamp. Just fill that out, send it back in. They'll send you your ballot at home.
So Niagara County, if you live in Niagara County, you have to get your ballot application by the end of next week. Niagara County is where I grew up, and that's the only county right now we're falling behind. So Niagara County, if you live in Niagara County, grab your friends, tell them you better get your application filled out. Niagara County is big for us. We need to win Niagara County. And right now, that's the weak spot we have in our armor. So everybody in Niagara County, hello, I'm calling you out. Talk to your friends and family. There's 3 buckets of voters, right? There's the saints. Those are the people that are with us. There's the sinners. Those are the people that'll never be with us. And then you got the fence sitters in the middle. And in that pool of fence sitters, you also have a lot of people who just never vote. So when you say it's a red district, well, guess what? We got to get those fence sitters to come to our side, the ones that do vote. And the ones who don't vote, We got to get those low-hanging fruit. We got to get those people into the mix here. And with an opportunity for us to vote from home, you can do that. So get the Saints and the fence sitters, and we can win. Don't worry about when you hear your uncle, your friend, your brother who's like, I love Trump no matter what. He's the greatest president of all time. I can't believe we live in an era where people get on television and say that President Trump is the greatest president of all time. It's laughable, but it's happening. So, but don't worry about those folks. You focus on the Saints and the fence sitters. Let the other guys, let them vote how they're going to vote. You're not going to waste your time on them. So if you're in Niagara County, next week you're going to get your application, right? Fill out that application and send it in. Next question. Monroe County.
Monroe County, you should have at this point or in the next couple of days receive your absentee application in the mail. Fill it out, send it back. It's prepaid, same thing. Or you can go to your county Board of Elections website right now, Monroe County Board of Elections, and you can fill it out online, less than a minute. Go do it right now.
You got to do it on paper in Niagara County, but in Monroe County, you can do it online right now. The Board of Elections website right now. Great. And if you've already filled it out or already did it online, your ballot will come when?
Your ballot in Monroe County, I believe, is already being sent out as the applications come in.
Okay, good. Monroe County's on top of things. Let's talk about Monroe. We got Niagara. Let's go right to Orleans. How's Orleans doing?
Orleans County is the same as Niagara. You will get it in the mail. Fill that out, send it back. They'll send it straight to you at your address, and it couldn't be easier.
So just it's coming to you when? The application?
It's either there now or it will come early next week.
So keep your eyes peeled. You can't do it online. You cannot apply online in Orleans County. Yep. You can in Monroe County.
Yep.
What do we next? Let's go to Wyoming County.
Wyoming County. Absentee applications already been sent out. You should have received it by now. If not, you can also go online in Wyoming County. Wyoming County Board of Elections. Easy online form. You can fill it out right then and there. They are also sending their ballots out right after they receive the application. So expect that pretty quickly after.
And we got crushed in 2018 in Wyoming County. But guess what? This year so far so good, right? Let's say it again.
Absolutely. Austin. Yeah, no, let's just say it several times over and over. We are winning Wyoming County, folks.
Right now, I think the only one who voted for me in Wyoming County last year was Hank and Cindy.
You won, Henry.
Maybe Susan did. I don't know. This year it's going well. I think they're on fire out there right now. Perry, those places, those people are energized. And I'm excited. Silver Lake, they're energized. They want change. They're not stupid. So, they won't be fooled again. Let's go to Genesee County.
Genesee County sending out their applications late last week, early this week. Should be in your mailbox. Fill it out, send it back. You don't need a stamp. It's already prepaid. Easy as can be.
Yep, got it. Erie County. I get the most concerned about Erie County. People are like, I don't have my ballot yet. I filled out an application online. What's up with Erie County?
So Erie County, let's talk about Erie quickly. So Erie County has the largest amount of Democrats in our district, and the largest amount of people in general in their county. So they have a Herculean task of sending out hundreds of thousands of these absentee applications. Yeah. So, they're doing everything they can. I'm talking to the Erie County BOE people. They are doing their very best. They're wonderful people. They're working hard under incredibly awful circumstances. So in general, any county you're calling up to, demand your ballot and think, please just be patient. These folks didn't ask for a pandemic.
Yeah, some of these places have 2 or 3 or 4 people at most that are working part-time and do not make a lot of money. That's what scares me, because it's going to be a massive rush of ballots. And in 2018, the absentee ballot counting process was very burdensome. This year, it's going to be even bigger. So it makes me a little nervous, but I'm glad we're on top of it with you two good gentlemen. Someone here says you look like before we go to the next county, you look like a hunter. Oh boy, I saw a comment I want to share with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, Gabe, I'll get to your question in a second.
What do I look like?
I don't know. It was a funny comment. I can't find it. Something like someone said they read. Oh, here it is. Hunter looks like little Hercules Poirot from the Agatha Christie mystery series she read today.
Very specific. Thank you, kind stranger from home.
Let's see, Bill Myers on here. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Kelly, Devs keep compromising just to get along, moving further and further to the right. I 100,000,000% agree with you. If you look at our country, like if Ronald Reagan was around today, they'd be calling him a liberal Democrat. Like his ideas were so far to the left of where we are today on not every issue, but on many issues. It's shocking. It really is. Hey, Nicola, how are you? Boy, I want to make sure I answer everyone's questions. I'm sorry, guys. Yep, no, Trump is a flaming racist, Alice. I agree with that. You got to say it. If you don't say it, it normalizes the behavior. Leah, how are you? Trump are using the Putin playbook. Yeah, they're just completely undermining the law. I don't know if you saw this last night. They removed another watchdog. Shocking stuff. Another inspector general who's in charge of looking for malfeasance in the government was removed. Why? Because he was looking into Mike Pompeo's use of public officials to perform private tasks for him. So it's the equivalent of a town supervisor having the highway crew come and do his lawn. That's the kind of stuff that's happening. So Trump, instead of letting it be inspected, he's removing people and saying there is no issue. It's really a travesty. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. George W. Bush was a terrible president. He led to the deaths of millions of people. Let's be honest. They lied about a war. It cost us trillions of dollars and led to the deaths of millions of people. And also tarnished our image around the world. What Trump has done, I don't want to say it's worse, but it certainly is more long-term potentially dangerous to our country, is he's undermined the rule of law in our country.
He's doing it right in front of us.
Right. He does it and brags about it. And no one's there to stop him. And if you stop him, you say, you Democrats, all you like is noise and confrontation. No, we believe in certain values and standards that we'll stand up for. Yeah. Jill, hey, Jill, how are you? Going on here. Mary's on the line here, guys.
Hey, Mary.
Okay. Kelly, I'm with you, Nate, but I'm no saint. Hey, none of us are saints. Okay, we all have our bad days. All right. We went through most of the counties. Is there any other call outs you want to give, Austin?
So let me just walk through Erie County one more time, which is if you have not yet received your application in the mail, you should in the next couple of days. Fill it out, send it back. Erie County, you can also go online. They have a great online form, elections.erie.gov. Less than a minute, you can apply online. Erie County has not sent out any ballots. A lot of people are worried that they haven't gotten theirs yet. I understand. Be patient with us. They're coming. So Erie County is going to send out a huge batch of ballots close to the beginning of June. And so if you have applied in Erie, hold tight. They will get you your ballot soon. So that is the case with Erie County. Livingston County also has an online application. Don't wait for it to come to the mail. Go online, request it right now. But every county is in the process of sending out those mailed absentee applications. If folks are new to the absentee process, which is almost all of us, I saw a great thing the other day that simplified it, and I think everyone should start thinking about it this way. It is the ABCs of absentee voting. A is absentee application. B, ballot. C, cast your vote. 3 simple steps, ABC, You got to apply in order to get your ballot. You got to send your ballot in order to cast your vote.
ABCs of absentee ballots. Because I'm not
Absolutely.
like you, I'm not a Cornell educated scholar. Tell me what that was again. A, B, C. Go ahead.
A, absentee application.
Uh-huh.
B, ballot. C, cast your vote.
A, B, C. I like mine better. 2 stamps, but it doesn't really work because you can do it online, right?
Yeah, and they're stamping it for you.
It's all prepaid. You don't need a stamp.
Oh,
Though,
that's right.
if you buy a stamp, you
I
support
didn't
the
even think of
postal
that.
service.
All right, go back to the ABC.
Application,
So, application,
ballot,
cast your vote. Thank
Yes.
you. I love it. Brilliant. Where'd you get that from?
Someone had shared it. I think Kim Smith, who's running for state senate, had shared it the other day.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Thanks, Kim.
It is good.
Kim's made.
All right, Hunter, any final words for the crew?
Just email me, hunter@votemcmurray.com, or email our volunteers inbox, volunteers@votemcmurray.com. If you want to volunteer for us, we're making calls 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day. So we're walking people through the same things that we walked everybody through here today. We're making sure everybody's okay, making sure everybody's on their application. We're making sure that everybody's good to vote.
Yes. Any comments from Austin?
Yeah. The biggest thing you can do is get your application in and then make sure that every single person you know has filled out their application and sent it in. Democracy doesn't work unless you get yourself involved and then you get everyone else you know involved.
Austin. Sorry, Austin. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You ever been to Austin?
I have never been to Austin.
I'll take you. Road trip when COVID ends.
And on the way, we'll read King Arthur about Morgan Le Fay.
No, in Austin, there's yes. Sorry, in Austin, there's a beautiful place called Barton Springs, and it is a spring, a natural spring that I think Austin is the most beautiful place in Texas. A lot of Texas is barren, like East Texas, Odessa out there. It looks like an alien planet. It's like unlike anything I've ever seen before. It's oil lands. It's flat and it is. They call it level land because it's flat and there's just nothing out there, no trees or nothing. Then you have these beautiful hill country, and that's where Austin is. And then you have down south, you have Houston and all that stuff, and it's hot and muggy. But Austin's like an oasis in the middle in Texas. It's beautiful, and they have beautiful bluebell. Bluebonnet is what they call it. I'm not even sure. Purple flowers that cover the hills. And in the middle of it, they have the Barton Springs, it's called. My friend just passed away. His son tragically passed away. His name was Barton after Barton Springs. And it's this beautiful natural spring that flows through the town. And it has a great culture in Austin. It's a wonderful place. Do you know what the slogan of Austin is?
Isn't it
Keep Austin weird?
Yeah. I'm going to keep this Austin weird, no matter how hard I try. Okay.
You always leave me speechless. The other thing that I'll push to folks is if you go on our website, there's a little banner at the top that has special election information. The URL, the website link is votemcmurray.com/absentee FAQ. It has all the information on how to fill out your application exactly. It has all the information on what we talked about tonight. It has important dates, everything like that. So votemcmurray.com/absentee FAQ. Please go visit there, send your friends there, share the link on your Facebook page. That'll help us out tremendously as well.
Yeah, share the news, and then we'll keep sharing the information. And I'm sorry to be a little silly with you guys. I just haven't seen you in such a long time in person. It's terrible. And I miss everybody out there. Alice Elaine wants to join us for the Austin road trip. Is she allowed to, Austin, is she allowed to come with us?
You got big old caravan, I say.
Yeah, Texas is a problem. Leah, you're right. It's I don't know what's going on down there. But guess what? Joe Biden is winning in the polls in Texas right now. I saw yesterday. He's winning by 6 points in Florida. Did you guys see that?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't trust the polls totally, but listen, it gives me some hope that we're going to get through this. The last thing I'll say is, look, I miss traditional campaigning tremendously. You guys know how much I love it. I love being around people. I hate sitting in a room by myself making phone calls, but I'm grateful for everyone home who's doing it as well. I miss going to the towns at NY27. I do what I can now, when I can, to visit people. But really, it is hard for me because, I mean, I'm a people person. I want to be around people, and I think it makes me a better candidate when I'm around people. I get to hear their concerns, and I get to talk to them. It's made me a better person to spend 3 years visiting NY27 and to go to all these towns. And I really do miss you. I miss your committees. I will try to be more available online until the election date like this. I would tell people out there is, we got to be hopeful, not just for this race, but for our country. We have the greatest country in the world, and it's the greatest country in the world because people like us and the people listening and the people together, we don't take democracy for granted. We don't take freedom for granted. And we have to use our votes, we have to use our rights, and we have to fight for the future of our country and the values we believe in. So I will continue to do so as best I can from this chair. And as soon as I can and we overcome this virus, hopefully it'll be soon, but I'm worried given the way our president's talking. Did you see what he said yesterday?
I just tune it out at this point.
He said he doesn't think we need he said again, he doesn't think we need a vaccine. It will just disappear.
Yeah, totally.
And he also said he's not sure he'll take the vaccine if there is one.
Well, I mean, he's already not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Hey, for everyone out there, I'll hang up in a second, but you know why we wear masks, right? I mean, I just think people should understand this because the virus will linger in the air in clouds. So you can be in Wegmans and walk through a cloud of virus. And the mask may not completely stop it, but it will stop. It will decrease the chances that you catch it or that you create those clouds yourself if you're infected. I don't understand that, and I'm really scared for the future of our country when we are so stubborn and so selfish that we can't recognize the fact that people are dying. I haven't hugged my mom in 3 months. I love my mom. You guys know it. I'm a big mama's boy. I'm desperate to go outside with my family and friends. I want to see you guys. And I think, of course, it's difficult, but we can't be selfish at a time like this. We need to do the right thing. It's really frustrating, and it gets me discouraged as much as anybody else. But I think we have to continue to fight to do the right thing.
Yep, 100%.
All right, Nikki. We'll see. Yes, we will. She says we'll have a big victory party later. Gordon, wearing a mask is like wearing underwear. No.
Gordon. Love it.
Oh, boy. All right, guys. We'll see you soon, all right?
All right. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks for staying up so late, and thanks for staying on so long with me and doing this, and I'll see y'all soon.
Of course.
See you guys. Miss
Bye,
you.
guys.